Yo, what's good out in Facebook world? It's your man Cam Billions, Cam Brisbon on the check-in, and I got some game for you today. Hopefully all is well in your life. You made it through the week, and now you can relax. But I suggest that, you know, you don't stay aggressive. Saturdays and Sundays are not off days, not for me anyway. So even though you made it through the week, this is a time this weekend for you to do some work for yourself. So you worked all week for someone else. Now you can work for yourself. Okay. So make sure you use your Saturday and Sunday time working for yourself. Go over your budget. If you have a business plan, create your business plan, work out, do whatever you need to do. All right, so make sure you stay aggressive this weekend. But congratulations, you made it through the week. All right. So I want to say greetings to all my folks out there in Facebook world. Hopefully all is well in you and your family's life. And time is moving. You feel me? We're about to head into spring. The year is going on. Hopefully you're being loyal to your New Year's resolutions. If you slacked off a little bit, don't even trip. Just get back to it. Don't wait for the top of the year to say, you know what, this is my year. Don't wait for the top of the year to, do what you should be doing now. So you might get off a little bit, but you can get back on. Don't even trip. Don't even kick yourself like that. All right. So make sure you go to kenbrisbon.com to cop all my shit. Whatever you don't have, get all the ebooks, get all the music. I'm working on some fire right now. And I'll talk about that when it gets more ready to launch some cool stuff. Also, hit me on the chat line, 888-565-8734, and I'll help you get your game together. All right, 888-565-8734. Cool beans. Yo, the topic of today is 6 ways to transcend white supremacy. I personally don't believe in that. That's not my religion, but I know a lot of people that do. So I'm going to talk in the context of the people that do. And this is, my way of thinking. Other people will have something else that you can use. And it's good to piece together different ideals from different people. I might not say a bunch of shit that you agree with, and that's fine. Just whatever I do say that you agree with, and if it resonates with you, take it and run with it. We're not supposed to co-sign every single thing. You know what I'm saying? That would make us yes people. We don't want to be that, right? So the topic of today is 6 ways to transcend white supremacy. And like I said, I personally don't believe in the religion of white supremacy, but I understand those that do. So I'm going to talk from that perspective, and anything that I talk about is for you to take and use now, and it's for your confidence so you could get a come up. You feel me? You don't owe me shit unless I sell you something, and then you owe me what I'm charging. But other than that, it's free game. Maybe you can use it, maybe you can't. So again, the topic of tonight is 6 ways to transcend white supremacy. But before I get into those 6 ways, we got to look at the language. Language is important. It's called spells. You've heard me say that before. So language is important. Make sure you like and share the video. It's free, right? I won't tell nobody. It's all good. You'll still be cool. Make sure you like and share the video. I want to see my shit on your page, though. Do me that solid, though. You feel me? It doesn't matter if your friends don't like me. You know what I'm saying? You make your own choice, right? So it's before we get into the 6 ways to transcend white supremacy, we have to dive into the language, because it's language that makes everything flow. We're here where we're at because of language. Whatever is going on in your life is going on because of language. So we have to dive in language, and language is the vehicle that opens up our whole reality. Words create worlds. Okay? Words create worlds. So language is important, and I don't think we understand the worlds we create from the words that we use. Okay? Sometimes we make the mistake of believing things are when they aren't. Okay? We believe things are when they aren't. Okay? So we create fantasy in our mind, and then we use words to describe the fantasy that's in our mind, but it's not what it actually is. So what I'm going to do, we're going to break white supremacy all the way down and then reattach it, right? I got to pull it apart so you can see what the language actually means, and then we'll get into the 6 ways to transcend it. okay? So let's get into it. So let's pull the word white supremacy apart. Let's demystify it, okay? Now understand, we created this thing, right? We created this system. We're creating systems through language. So let's pull this word apart and then break it down. So let's do an autopsy on the word so you can look at it and see it for what it really is. And when you see it for what it really is, your confidence will grow. You'll believe more in yourself than you will the system. You'll have the fuel you need to get up, even though it's hard, and keep it pushing. You'll have the fuel you need to set goals, measure the goal, and execute the goal, okay? You'll have the fuel you need. So, but first we got to knock down the boogeyman, because this thing is on our backs, and a lot of us can't move because the dysfunction is in our nervous system, but it comes from our belief though. So again, we're going to pull the word apart, look inside the word, and see it ain't about nothing, and see that it's just things and instruments of the matrix that's there, still in our innocence away, still in our light, still in our brilliance, still in our confidence. Okay, so let's look in the word, right? So first we have to look at the word white. Now, what we have to understand with language is, especially when you're in another culture's language, language has meaning, right? Meaning. Things mean things whether you like it or not, right? Things mean things whether you like it or not. And if you're not a part of a particular people's culture, then you might not know what words actually mean, and then you might make the mistake of trying to make the word mean what you want it to mean. But whoever created the name controls the characteristics of the name, okay? It's called spelling, all right? To cast a spell, you need language, right? To seal prayers in some religions, some people say in Jesus' name, right? In Jesus' name is supposed to seal the prayer, making it more official. In other cultures, they may say abracadabra. In other cultures, they may say so mote it be, okay? That is the power of words. Words create spells. Words create worlds. It's called spelling, okay? So for you to understand what white supremacy isn't and is, you have to understand the word white, supreme, and black, okay? So let's dive a little bit into the word white. Now, this word meant what it meant before another culture came in contact with you, okay? So in Europe, let's talk about the Portuguese, the conquistadors, the British, the Germans. Black meant a certain thing to them. White meant a certain thing to them. Now, if you were from South America, if you were from the islands, if you were from Africa, you were from Asia, in your language, things mean what they mean. So if someone pulls you into their language, you are basically slave or in prison to whatever it means. Okay? So let's look at the word white, and I'm going to talk about the bullet points of the word white, and it makes it real interesting. Now think about this word when you attach it with supremacy. All right? Now these are the bullet points of white. Free from color. That's very important. I'm going to talk about color in a second. But white, to be white, if you classify something as white, it means free of color, which is a positive. I'll get into it. Saying you're a person of color legally is actually undermining you, right? Color of law, right? So white is free from color. White also is free from spot or blemish, okay? White also is free from moral impurity, innocent. Now, think about when you're attaching this to supremacy, because we'll get into what supremacy is too. Supreme, to be supreme, right? So free from color, free from spot or blemish, free from moral impurity, innocent. Maybe that's why police get off, right? Because they classify as white. It actually means something, okay? So also, not intended to cause harm. That's a big one. Not intended to cause harm. Favorable and fortunate. Notably ardent, passionate. Look at all these things that's characterized with the word white. Now, when you say white supremacy, you don't even know the world that you're creating. When you were a child, you did not come in here with that belief system. When you were a child, you had a certain level of innocence and you feared absolutely nothing, right? And that's what gets stolen from you, the spirit of a child, okay? And it gets stolen because you begin to believe these kind of ideals, okay? So, look, let's go through white again. These are the bullet points. And this was in Merriam-Webster's dictionary, so this is public record, okay? So, free from color, I'll get into color in a second. Free from spot or blemish. Free from moral impurity, innocent. Not intended to cause harm. Favorable, fortunate, notably ardent, passionate. Now, these characteristics associated with white existed before race. All right? Race is a new phenomenon. So what happens is the power that be attach specific skin tones with these characteristics. Understand, the definitions in European language of white and black existed before race existed. These words are from the 12th, 13th, 14th century. Race is not that old, okay? The construct of race. So sorcerers, magicians, wizards, and warlocks took a group of people and looked at them by skin tone and pushed them into these narratives. Okay, people weren't these things before. They were clans, tribes, and nations. You said, if you were native, you said, running bull from the tribe of such and such. You didn't say I'm a red man. Okay, understand these terms existed before race. Race is new. All right. So again, real quick, white, free from color. I'll get into that in a sec. Free from spot or blemish. Free from moral impurity, innocent, favorable, fortunate, not intended to cause harm, notably ardent, passionate. That's very deep. So when you're saying white supremacy, you're attaching these characteristics with a group of people. You got to be careful with the word you're saying, because for white supremacy to exist, if you really believe that as a religion, then it has to come at your expense. So if they're supreme, or any people, then what are you? All right. So briefly, let's get into what color is, because it says in the bullet points of white that white is free from color. What is color? When you see something, when you color something, you hide its true nature. When you color the matter, you're concealing it. Let me give you an example of what color is. All right. Color means to conceal, to hide. So when you say you're a person of color, you're saying you don't actually exist. And the law is not obligated to respect a person of color. When the Constitution says you're 3/5 human, it's talking about colored people. Now understand, you were called color. You didn't identify color until foreigners with better technology came on your land and put you in their language, right? Color. Okay, you was not a color before foreigners labeled you a color. But let me show you how color works, though. You could look at color of law too, right? So let me show you how color works. Why you don't want to identify as a person of color, because when you identify as a person of color, what you're doing is saying you don't exist. Now this is independent of your emotions. And say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. That's entertainment. That's cool. That's just there to entertain you. All right, so look, you can't see it. I wrote my name on here, right? It says Ken. Let me show you how color works, right? It says Ken. Now this is how it looks naturally. I wrote my name. Now watch when I color it. Watch what happens. I don't have a marker right here, but I'm gonna shade it in, right? I'm gonna color it, right? Color is going to hide what it actually says. So if I had some dope graphics in the name, if I had some cool designs in it, you wouldn't be able to see it because I colored it. You see? Now you don't know what it says. This is what happens when you say you're a person of color. This is what happens when you say you're a crown, when you're black. Now I'm not talking about your emotions. I'm talking about what it is and what language is. This is not personally my opinion. This is you know what I'm saying? This is observation. And again, look at color of law. When you color something, you conceal it. Now, in one of the bullet points of white, it says free of color. That's deep. So that means this is anyone that identifies as white is a real person, because it says free from color, not hidden. Maybe this is why the law recognizes those that classify themselves as white. Understand, the classification came from people that were into occult sciences. Okay? These were not regular lawmakers. These were not regular people passing legislation. This is a system. This is a system based on language, though. It's language that is putting people in the position that they're in because we don't know it, right? And trust me, I'm from it. So I had a black experience. I grew up black. I had a black existence. Now, when we look at the word black, we'll see what I mean by that. But again, you've seen the name before I wrote this, and then now you can see the name after it, right? I colored it. Color is very interesting. You don't want to be a person of color because immediately identifying as a person of color, you are a hidden person, and no government around the world will respect a person of color, right? You don't want to be a person of color. You always want to be in your natural self. So, you know, if you can do the work and find a clan you came from, a tribe you came from, you want to identify as that. Or you can identify as American, identify as African, identify as Asian. At least there are nations that can go to the world court and get on the podium and represent that group of people. There is no place called black. All right? So, color, very, very important. So just remember, a person of color is legally dead. White is free of color. All right? So this isn't about your personal feelings. When you're pulled into another group's language, you're owned by the meanings and definitions of that language, not how you feel. Okay? Again, when you wage war on someone, and especially if your technology is better, the first thing you do is you change the language of the people. You change how they communicate with each other. And when they begin to use your language, they're going to use your language from a debt space. They're not necessarily going to be literate in that language. They're not even going to know when they're using language against themselves. Okay, so for example, a good example of that is when I use the word God. In our minds, we're trying to describe something that language is not actually connected to. In our minds, it's the all-loving, it's our supreme being, but that's not actually what it is, because God is a Germanic word. And when you look at the etymology of God, it's to pour libations on a mound. Okay? It's a word used by those that identify as the Visigoths, right? Germanic peoples. So when they use the word God, it may have a different manifestation than when I use the word God, because I'm not part of that tribe of people. For example, if you're from the Bay Area, you might use the word hyphy, and you're going to use it in a way that it has the proper sentence structure. So you're going to create a world when you use it. But if I live in Texas and I'm from there and I try to use the word, it's not going to land the same because I'm not those people. I don't have a genetic connection to that word. I believe that words and DNA go together. So if a certain group of people for the last few thousands of years have been using certain phrases and terms, I believe it works for them different than outsiders that may try to use that word. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, so language is important. So let's get into the word black. Again, this is not about how you personally feel, your emotions attached to it. You're in another language, okay? Black. People identified with clans and tribes and nations first. Black is color, making those people that identify with clans, tribes, and nations, it makes them extinct. Because once you put the term black on there, those people now are covered by color. Okay, and they don't exist anymore. This is why people can't find out their past, because they're looking from a black perspective. Black people technically don't exist, and if they do exist in the physical, then they're 3/5 human, based on the bullet points of black. Okay, now black means heavy, serious, dirty, soiled, characterized by the absence of light. I'm gonna come back to light. Reflecting or transmitting little to no light, thoroughly sinister, wicked, indicative of condemnation, discredit, connected with or evoking the supernatural and especially the devil. That's deep, right? These are the characteristics associated with black. Now, be honest. When you look all across America, those people that identify with black, what is the characteristics of the people, for the most part, that characterize themselves as black? Heavy, serious, dirty, soiled, characterized by absence of light, reflecting or transmitting little or no light, thoroughly sinister or wicked, indicative of condemnation, discredit, connected with or evoking the supernatural, and especially the devil. Now, again, you didn't pick to be black. You got called black. All right? You did not pick to be black. When you were born, there's a label associated with this skin tone in another person's language. If you weren't in another person's language, you wouldn't identify as a color. You would identify with the land that you're on. Okay? You identify with the nation or the clan. You understand? You don't identify as a crown, because these crowns, these colors, have a whole personality associated with them. And when you fall under that personality or that word, then that means the personality is now attached to you, and you can't do nothing about that. Okay, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna make song and dance like like people did, and you're going to give the term more power, and you're gonna create a genetic and an emotional connection to the word. Say it loud: I'm black and I'm proud. No disrespect to James Brown, but he doesn't look like a person that was doing a lot of research, so he doesn't know what the word black means. He thought it meant something else. Now everybody sung that song, and what if, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. What if it created an alternative reality that we didn't expect, in a reality that it put us more into poverty, because we're going around calling ourselves this. This is what black means. So if I say I'm black people, I can't disassociate myself with the bullet points associated with. Again, we weren't called black. Spanish people said negro. Okay? And it was the Spanish who really got a jump on the new world, the Spanish and Portuguese for that matter, okay, because of the papal bulls and doctrine of discoveries and things like that. Okay, so what if, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, what if it created more hurt and more pain, because we think we're using black in the positive as it represents our culture and who we are, but we don't know that based on the language, we're creating death, because the bullet points associated with black is this: heavy, serious, dirty, soiled, characterized by absence of light. Knowledge. I want to get into knowledge. Characterized by absence of light. Now notice white was free of color. What is color? To hide, to conceal. Black is characterized by the absence of light. Now it says white is free of color, but it never says free of light. We'll get into what light is. Heavy, serious, dirty, soil, characterized by absence of light, and it has knowledge in parentheses. Reflecting or transmitting little or no light. Thoroughly sinister. That's crazy. Thoroughly sinister. Indicative of condemnation. Connected with or evoking the supernatural, and especially the devil. So this is what people of European descent thought of the word black. When the word black was originated, there was no such thing as black people, right? Of course, there was melanated people. Melanated people are endless, maybe trillions of years old, according to Elijah Muhammad, right? But understand, they weren't called black until foreign people with better technology. That's all it is. That is the equalizer in history. Who's gonna be up and who's gonna be down? It's whoever has the better technology. That's just what it is. All right. So because one group of people had gunpowder and the other group of people had spears, bow, and arrows and spirituality that couldn't neutralize the gun, here we are. That's all it is. Okay. So be careful in your language. Be careful in using the term white supremacy. You have to understand color. You have to understand what black means, what white means. Now we're going to connect the words and see what's going on with them, right? But understand though, the word black is a debt put on people, right? Before you can slave a people's body, you slave the language. If you remember roots, when Kunta Kinte accepted Toby, he didn't just accept the name. He accepted a behavior that goes with that, right? When he became Toby, he became more domesticated, right? He lost his Mendinka identity. He tried to hold on to it for a minute, but goddamn, they was very consistent and persistent in beating that name into him. So the name comes with a whole different mindset, a whole different belief system, because it's software coming onto the hardware. All right, cool beans. All right, so just remember that before you slave a person's body, you slave the language. All right. So now we got to look at the word supreme or supremacy, right? So we're saying white supremacy, and you understand what white means. Innocent, fortunate. I mean, white means some great things. I'm like, these are the things that I need in my life. To be fortunate, moral, impurity. That means no matter what I do, I can do a wrong thing and it still be a right thing, because by bullet point, by definition, being white means incapable of doing no wrong. That's why you always find yourself catching a L. You know what I'm saying? So, supreme, right? What does it mean to be supreme or supremacy? It means the highest in rank. Okay? It means highest in degree. It also means the ultimate or the final. Now, the ill thing about the word supreme, I really paid attention to what supreme was synonymous with. Now, these wasn't the same words in the definition, but I paid attention to what words it was alike with, or it shared a commonality with. So supreme was equal to, and I'm saying synonymous with chief, commanding, first, foremost, head, high, lead, leading, preeminent, premier, presiding, primary, prime, principal, supereminent, top. That's what the word supreme is synonymous with. So when you're saying white supremacy, now let's attach the word using the words from from the definitions that I use. So when you say white supremacy, what you're saying is innocence at the highest degree. What you're also saying is ultimate morality. We broke the word apart, now we put it back together like a Lego piece. So when you're saying white supremacy, what you're saying is innocence in the highest degree. You don't believe me? One of the bullet points of the word white is incapable of a moral impurity, quote, comma, innocent, right? Then supreme is the highest in rank, highest in degree, the ultimate. So when I say innocence in the highest degree, that's what white supremacy means. It also means ultimate morality. So when you are calling something white supremacy, you're just talking. You don't know what you're saying. You want to be connected to the culture so bad that you're killing yourself with language. Don't you ever in your life refer to somebody as a supreme. I don't care what the system looks like. Let me tell you something. I understand when you're born, it's a little overwhelming. I understand that, it's a lot of things that is just polarizing, like Monsanto or the fact of the wealth gap. I know it's overwhelming when you look at land ownership and the nation's millionaires, and you look on Congress and it looks a certain type of way. That's only because of technology. One group of people had the gun, and then another group of people didn't. But it ain't also the gun, it's language. Because this is a culture that is paper gangsters. It's ruled by the pen. So it's legislation that dictates your life. People sitting in chairs in dark offices in late nights when you're sleeping, they're stroking the pen, and that pen is creating a new reality. That is also a form of technology, and their signature, their sign nature is connected to that. Okay? So I understand that you like, damn, how can I get ahead? Look at all the shit that's against me. But understand something, everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't be saved, because if so, then what's saved? Being saved wouldn't mean shit if everybody could go. I am confident. In fact, I wanted more the fact that I know most people won't be able to figure this matrix out. And that's why my confidence is growing every day, because I spend a lot of time working on myself to figure out the matrix. It's supposed to be there because it makes people iller, better, smarter, sharper, more productive, because you have to be in charge of your behavior. Okay? So because things are hard, and because there's opposition, and because there's conflict, I'm not going to call it white supremacy. I'm actually giving a compliment to the system. Instead, I can reverse engineer that and use it for myself. I'm in the me business. I'm in the me supremacy, because I want to be the highest in rank. Okay, I want to be highest in degree. I want to be ultimate. So if that's the case, we can't coexist. Either they're supreme or I'm supreme. Okay? Because if they're supreme, then I have to be under. And I'm not going out like that. And the thing about it is, I don't have to print the money. I don't have to control Monsanto. I don't have to control the Federal Reserve. All I need to do is control my behavior, my mind, and my house. That's it. You control what you can control. Okay? You have power over your turf, wherever you at. Okay? And that's a way to attack your confidence. Conspiracy theorists or pro-black people or skeptics or people that's pessimists, they're always going to go to things that nobody controls. You're talking about one family. Well, what about the Federal Reserve? What about it? What about it? Just because I can't control that doesn't mean anything. I control my behavior, period. So I'm going to control what I can control. All right? So please be careful with your language, because you're creating a world that's working against you. You're creating a world that's working against you. So when I tell black men or people that there's not a war on you, people at me. They're like, yes, it is. I'm telling you, you're not a slave. You're literally telling me, yes, it is. Yes, I am. Right? And you know what? No man should tell someone else what to live and die for. If you believe there's a war on you, then fight it. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? The war is between your ears. If there is a war, it's your own thoughts, it's your own behavior, if anything. Okay, so we're gonna get into the 6 ways to transcend white supremacy. And it's real easy. It's stuff that you can apply, right? It's not even rocket science. It's stuff that you can start right now, right? Just hear me out. If you can find something that works for you, cool. If you can find something, if you passed it, then it's all good, okay? So the first way to transcend white supremacy is necessary narcissism. Necessary narcissism. Indulge in yourself, be selfish, pick yourself, elevate your level of excellence. Okay? Those are the bullet points for necessary narcissism. So let's get into indulging in yourself. When I say indulging in yourself, the hardest thing to do is love ourselves, Believe it or not, it's very hard because we're taught destructive behavior that's against ourselves, and we're told to be selfish. Pick country over yourself. The system is over you. The church is over you. Our parents is over you. When do we ever have time to be in control? When do we ever get control of our lives? When we're 80? We put every single thing ahead of us. Every single thing comes before us, and we never get time for ourselves. And when it finally clicks, it's too late. Our youth is gone. So you want to indulge in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's self-care. I know sometimes I forget to care about myself. That's ill. Like, how can I forget that? Like, I am so running around trying to get money and, man, I'm actually forgetting to care about myself. Like, you can forget to eat right. You know what I'm saying? You can forget to drink water. You can forget to get good rest. That's ill. That you can be running so fast that you forget to care about your own self. And if you're not caring about yourself, then it's so easy to subscribe the ideal of white supremacy, because you know what? You don't have the fuel to actually rise above that bullshit. So you're going to be a victim of it, and you're just going to fall in line. But that's because you haven't been indulging in yourself. And again, you got set reminders in your phone to indulge in yourself, because if not, you will forget. Okay? Be selfish. Pick you. This is also indulging in yourself. I remember coming up, right? I live upstate New York, right? And a lot of the kids were doing bad, right? Kids my age, we was getting into bullshit, you know what I'm saying? We was dropping out of school, we was having dysfunctional lives, but our mothers spent a lot of time at church though, right? Our mothers gave more time to church than they did their households. You know what I'm saying? The kids are getting shot and killed and going to jail in the streets, but our mothers are in jail, right? And I never seen my mom pick herself. By the time she wanted to, she didn't even know how. She picked other things because to face yourself is extremely difficult. See, when you pick yourself, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, because you have to be okay with how you look. You have to be okay with what happened in the past. You have to be okay with the things that you're not. That's what happens when you pick yourself. Because when you, like I said, all the mothers at church, meanwhile, their sons were dying. You know what I'm saying? Their daughters were losing their way. Mothers was cooking for the church and not making no food for their family. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that though. Church full of women, and they're all going to church. Meanwhile, the kids are in fucking pure turmoil. And I don't know where the daddy's at. Somewhere shot the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bad thing when you don't face the mirror. When you pick yourself, you have to confront the ugly. Picking yourself isn't just, oh, I brought myself flowers. No, picking yourself is, you know what, I got some shit to deal with. I can't change the system per se, but one thing I can change is my thought process and my behavior, and, the things that make me a trash person. I can change that. That happens when you pick yourself. All right? Elevate your level of excellence. This is also under the umbrella of necessary narcissism. We want to elevate our level of excellence. I say that because the standard in the black culture is really trash. The standard for black culture is trash. What we consider black excellence is always song and dance. You know what I'm saying? And nothing wrong with song and dance, but, I'm really attracted to intelligence right now. I don't need to see no more dance moves. I'm for real. I don't need to see that. You know what I mean? I'm interested in those doing biology, scientists, marine biologists, stuff like that. We want to elevate our level of excellence, because I don't watch TV, but when I tune in TV, people that look like this, melanated people, look garbage, yo. The standard is whack. It's the bag, and get the bag. But I'm like, the people with the bag look trash. They're not even dope. Like, I like art. I like artists. I like interesting people. So in our culture, yo, chase the bag, but you're not even an interesting person though. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like a person is using a bag to make a library or using a bag for some philanthropy. Now, I'm not a person that count other people money and tell them what to do with it. But yo, just represent though. You don't owe me shit, but just look dope, be dope. So when I tune in nigga culture, when I tune in and I see people with the bag, they trash. I listen to their music. I'm like, okay, now your hierarchy of needs is in order. You should be able to make great art, but that's not happening. The shit is still trash. You know what I'm saying? Black women still looking dumb as hell on reality shows. They get money though. You know what I'm saying? But there's no intelligence. Then you got rap dudes. You rich. It should reflect in your art, but it doesn't. It's still trash. So that tells me that there's a thing inside of the DNA of the people, because whether you rich or poor, the behavior still exists. Trash. No legends, no innovation. And that's sad because you have new people coming into the world every single day. And what are they looking at to model themselves? At this point, we are devolving. Sad. So elevate your level of excellence, especially for black men. To be a dope black man, all you got to do is have a job. That's ill. You don't have to have no philosophy. All you have to do is have a job and be a little nice. You don't have to be industrious. Just have a job, or say you're in school. Oh yeah, he's a good man. So it doesn't take much to be a good man. Yo, it's not about men being good. It's about men being industrious. I don't care if you're assholes or not. We rather have good men that are not industrious as long as they're not assholes. It's like, what? You know what I'm saying? One of the things you stand on as you achieve manhood is the fact that you're an asshole, because you have to be, because you have to say no, and you have to be firm on things. Because if you're not an asshole and you're Mr. Agreeable, then I can wage war on you. I can take your woman. I can have my philosophy inside your household because you're Mr. Agreeable. And that's sad, because it's the women that are saying what's a good man or not. And women are not in charge of manhood. Neither are men. I can't say what a woman is supposed to be. What the hell? A real woman? What is a real woman? Something that I agree with, right? No. Females have to get in a group and define that for themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'll be damned if a female tell me what a man is. How do you know what it is? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go on a hero's journey. My psyche is different than yours. I have testosterone running through me. My whole process is different than you. I have to go on the hero's journey. Your journey is different. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. So we want to elevate our level of excellence. We want to elevate our level of excellence. We want to set the bar real high for those that come behind us. And at this pace, it's whack. So no wonder people are addicted with the notion of white supremacy. Because for real, based on definition, white supremacy is everything a black person can't be. That's why they love it. I don't subscribe to that. I'm sorry. You can't tell me that no people is better than me. I don't care what the society looks like. We can do the same thing, but it's going to take 500 years, 300 years. Are you ready for that? You know what I'm saying? You think change happens overnight? No. You got to program it, and then it plays out. So that's number one, necessary narcissism. And this is 6 ways to transcend white supremacy. I'm not saying it stops. No, you transcend. You rise above it to the point where no matter what's going on, you're able to maneuver, you're able to counter, you're able to Floyd Mayweather block it or Neo duck it. No matter what happens, you're able to move and counter. Okay? So number 2, very important. Number 2 is become a seller. Those people screaming white supremacy are consumers. If I'm a seller, then I'm going to sell my way out of the hood. I'm going to hustle my way into heaven on earth. You got to sell your way into the life you want to live. It is actually a bad look for you to be in America and not sell something. America is the place for the merchant. Okay? People come to America, if they do get a job, they're going to take the money and get something to sell. Okay, so those people that are keep talking about white infrastructure and stuff, they're not really sellers. They're people looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? And if a person gotta hire you, that means they got control. What if no one hires you? What are you gonna do? You wanna sell. Sell, sell, sell. Whatever situation you're in, you can get out of it through selling. Now, location does matter. You might be in a city where, you know what, there's not a lot of jobs that gives people disposable income. So, but check this out, yo. No matter where McDonald's is, it still makes money. McDonald's being dirt poor areas, trailer park trash, projects, it still makes money. So if you got something that people is feeling, they gonna cop it, whatever it is. If you can supply a demand or you have something that is very, very unique and it solves people's problems, there you go right there. America is for the seller. America is for the entrepreneur. In fact, this country is so crazy, it benefits people in business. For example, when you have a limited liability company, right? And say there's something going wrong where you're being sued, your company is being sued, not necessarily you. Whereas if I'm just a single entity, you could come straight for me. When I'm doing business, I can come under a corporation or this country is set up for businesses. If you are a business owner, you have more rights than a civilian. Just think about it. Whenever there's riots, property is put above human life. America is about business. It does not matter what your personal feelings are. That's fantasy. You've seen too many Disney movies, and now you want to discuss what right and wrong is. But the sun does not care what right and wrong is, because if it did, it would send a solar flare and burn everybody up. The water doesn't care about right and wrong, because if it did, the oceans will come on shore and just swallow everybody up. The earth does not care what right or wrong is, because if it did, it would just crack open and all the mean people in the world would just fall in. But that's not happening. Fortune favors the bold, okay? So you want to sell and you want to stop being a civilian and become a businessman and a businesswoman, because this system is designed for businesses. Ever since the Dutch stepped foot on New Amsterdam and started trading pelts and furs, the purpose of America was for business and business only. See, coming from Europe, people couldn't just start businesses. You couldn't do anything like that, because it was, I believe, a feudal society with monarchs and dukes and all. You couldn't do that. So America was uncharted territory for the Europeans. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that this is for businesses. This is why you may be having no luck in America, because you're trying to operate from a place of being happy and feelings. Right? It's not about that. It's about being a business. Okay? Lips are chapped. It's about being a business. Okay, so you want to get your EIN number, you want to get your LLC, you want to form your S Corps, you want to form your C Corps. You know what I'm saying? Hell, a nonprofit, whatever. You just want to be doing business. A civilian has no rights in America. A corporation acts as a natural human being. You can sue McDonald's for billions of dollars. No person would ever be affected. It's about business. Okay, and the thing about it is, you're a business and you don't even know it, because you're operating with a social security number. You know what I'm saying? And every time you get a mail that's capitalized, that's called capitis maximus diminutia. So you didn't even think I knew that word. Sleeping on me. Yeah, it's called capitis maximus diminutia. All of your name is in capital letters. So the state is doing business with you and you don't even know it. Right? You're going in there in your feelings and you don't know what game you're playing. This is about business. All right, so you want to get out of the feelings game and get into the dealings game. So the second way that you transcend so-called white supremacy is you become a seller. I done sold to every group of people on the planet. I done got money from white people, got money from Asian people. Why? Because I campaign and I'm not afraid of someone telling me no. What you gonna say? No? That you don't want my shit? I done slung in Santa Monica, slung in Vegas, slung everywhere. I done sold Ken Brisbon everywhere. And you gonna have to tell me no, but that's cool. I could take 1,000 no's to get $100 yes. That's just how my confidence is. So when people come on my page and they tell me they're unfollowing me, I'm like, yo, you know how many times I've been told no? Like, are you serious? I'm firm in who I am. You know what I mean? Because I've been told no before. And I've had to go outside and make my rent, right? I don't have a work history. I had to make my money, literally. I had to literally talk money out of people's pockets. Yo, what's up, bro? What's going on? I remember selling music. I'm rapping and shit. Yo, what's up, fam? Yo. Coming up with catchy things to stop somebody. Yo, dude right there in the green shirt in the black hat. Who, me? Yeah. Come here, check me out. I have to sell this. He don't want this. So I have to create auto-suggestion too. Man, this sounds good, don't it? Doesn't it? He begins to go, yeah. Right? This is good. Sound good. Yo, it's just for you, man. I made music for a cool person just like you. Oh, man, you think yo, you're cool? This your lady? Oh, man, yo, you're married to the coolest dude on the planet. Then he start blushing. I'm trying to make the sale. You feel me? I'm trying to do that 1,000 times a day. I'm going to say whatever I got to do to make the sale. Because I understand from my background, I'm not waiting for reparations. For those that are, do your thing. I'm going to get my family in a position of power. And then I'm going to give the seeds to the offspring and let them take it further, just like a Rothschild. I'm not waiting for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And if I fail, then I'm going to fail forward, not backwards, right? So the second way that you transcend white supremacy, you become a master seller. So I suggest that you change your things you view on YouTube. You want to pay attention to the Brian Tracy's. You want to listen to the Damon Johns. You want to listen to the. I even like Ty Lopez. You know what I'm saying? You want to go for Jim Rohn. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want to listen to Jim Rohn. You want to listen to, I like Grant Cardone. I like salespeople. You know what I'm saying? Hell, yo, well, I'm not a Christian. But one of the illest dudes that I've seen on TV that's a religious dude is a dude named Mike Murdoch, right? His sales game is so crazy because, first of all, he has dope-ass principles in his presentation, right? And he ties his message into his products. So by the time he's talking, he's like, yo, I know there is he does exclusive language. So he's like, you know what? There's 1,000 chosen. Listen to the word. Pay attention to language because that's what this is about. I know there's 1,000 chosen people out there that don't mind. See, man, yo, the phone be ringing off the hook. He making cake. But he got dope principles, though. I'm not Christian. So whenever he says Jesus, I already know what it means. I could say Horus. You know what I'm saying? Les Brown is dope, too. I could say Horus. I could say Mithra. If Jesus rubs you the wrong way, just replace it with a different name. You know, no big deal, right? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But he's selling, okay? Those that are in positions of power are those that are in sales. Jeff Bezos does e-commerce. Amazon is e-commerce. A seller. You know what I'm saying? TD Jakes is cold. So you're looking at them as pastors and counting their money. I'm looking at them as salesmen. At the end of the day, they're giving people exactly what they want. You feel me? People come there voluntarily. Okay? So it's none of your business what somebody does with their money at church because it's non-contact. People choose to go. And if he's giving you a word, pay that man. Because guess what? I want to be paid. Pay me. Who don't want to get paid for kicking the real? You know what I'm saying? I know I want to be paid. I don't want to stand behind a podium and just be rapping and then nobody hit me with no bread. Yo, the travesty of Malcolm X's life. No one never says this, but the travesty of Malcolm X's life is he had no life insurance. Betty suffered. That's something that we don't talk about. That's not a win to me. You might like Malcolm all day, but does the way that his wife lived mattered or not? They suffered. If someone means something to you, you pay them before they disappear and then you don't have them no more. Don't tell people that, oh man, you changed my life. Enough for you to split that $10 in half? You know what I'm saying? If I changed your life, pay me. What the hell? That's the other way that you rise above so-called white supremacy. You pay. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, it's going to come back to you because guess what? I pay for game and it comes back. I don't want nobody giving me no free game. If I get some game for somebody and it works for me, I'm trying to come back, bam. You feel me? So that's the second way that you rise above white supremacy. You become a seller. Be a seller and be able to take those no's. You don't give up. You take the no's. And fellas, let me tell you something. If you get in the game of sales and people tell you no, yo, I'm telling you that you can talk to any woman. You hear a few no's, yo, your confidence is going to be so big. You might be the shortest dude in the room. You're going to be trying to talk to girls that's 5'11". Women, if you get in the game of sales, you're going to know that no dude is out your league because you've been hearing no all damn day. No dude is out your league. I don't care if you come from the projects or what. You might got a pancake ass. You might got a pancake, but it don't matter though. But if you campaign, he gonna see that light in you, and it's a wrap. Oh, about the words of the black lacking light. That means knowledge. Okay, I forgot to touch on that. That means knowledge. All right. So number 3 of transcending white supremacy. This is real important, especially for people that come from my background of, sometimes we get the short end of the stick because our parents didn't know how to pump value into us, okay? Our parents didn't know how to pump value into us, okay? This is real important. The third way to transcend white supremacy is you must be earned. Earned. Listen to what I'm saying. People, the narrative, this matrix must earn you. Don't just give yourself up for the free 99. You must be earned. That's real important. Earned. Okay? You give your attention away for free. Free. When Gucci was having the thing with the clothes, you don't understand that you're promoting something even when you're angry. The funny thing about people on social media, they share what they don't like. Okay? People share shit about me that they don't like all the time. So they'll share something of mine and then caption it, be like, look at this coon, look at this agent, look at this. But what they don't know is someone on their page agrees with me. And if they help me make a friend, you did what you were not trying to do. The best way to kill something is to never pay attention to it, okay? You give your attention away for free. You know what I'm saying? It's called you pay attention. But the thing about attention that's different than money is attention is mental energy. You give your attention away for free. Don't do that. Make the culture, this narrative, this matrix earn you. Okay? What happens is your identity is dependent on the narrative, what they think about you, what they say about you, and the history. So what happens is I've heard I don't want to say black people, so let's say lost tribes. I like that term. Matter of fact, that's a group that I started not long ago, well, about 10 years ago. I got an LLC for it. I never did nothing with it, but it's called Lost Tribes, right? And your identity is dependent on the narrative. So you'll be like, so people came to me the other day on one of my posts and they were like, white people still think you're a nigger. I was like, yo, I never think what white people think about me. You know what I'm saying? That shit doesn't even cross my mind because I'm feeling myself. What the fuck you gonna tell me? I'm not even supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even supposed to be here. So do you think imagine trying to control, okay, the way that you control people's thought is through auto-suggestion, okay? But what they think about you personally, no, you want them to think about you you want to control their thought in terms of business. I want you to think I'm a cool guy so you can buy shit from me. You don't have to like me per se. I need you to have a fluidity with me based on this product that I'm trying to sell you. But you don't gotta like me though. You know what I mean? So you want to be mindful of your attention and don't give it away for free. You know what I mean? Your identity is way, way too dependent on the narrative. You know what I'm saying? What they think about you. That's not cool. You know what I mean? Don't worry about what they think about you. And that's one thing people do. Look at what they think. Look at what they think of us. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, okay? Another thing with you must be earned. You must protect your vibe. So one way that I protect my vibe, this is just what I do. I talk mad shit, right? I'm very competitive. Like, I talk shit to partners, people I'm fucking. Like, I want to compete with them, right? And it's not necessarily against them, but it's just me protecting my vibe, because if I don't do that, then naturally, because how I was raised, I'm going to go back into my former self, and I don't want to do that, right? So you want to protect your vibe, whether that's talking shit, whether that's making sure if you go out, you go to specific spots, you might, not invite certain people over your house. You want to protect your vibe, because guess what? This ideal of the white supremacy got a banging ass vibe because people give it attention all day. They big up white people all day. They think white people are rich and all white people are smart and this and that. Like, yo, I ain't got time for that. I protect my vibe. I'm elitist with my vibe. I don't want to belong in a tribe of everybody. See, I can say it to you and be honest that I don't want all black people to like me, because for them to like me, then that means I would have to give up very, very important pieces of myself just to fit in with a culture that I think is fucking trash. No, I won't do that. So I talk the way I talk so they can call me coon and they can call me agent. And what that means is it's going to separate me from energy that I consider poverty. I don't want to be affiliated with that. So I'm going to talk in a way where I hope it offends people. So the people that ain't fucking with me, they could go way over there. And what that's going to do is create a big ass distance between their energy and my energy. I protect my vibe. I want to piss people off. I want people to be like, he's a coon. Cool. Because what I want to do is keep grace and favor. There is an energy that I think I have going on in my life that is grace, that's rooted in grace and favor, and I feel like that energy is working for me. You know what I mean? So I want to continue that energy. So if that means that black people don't want to be my friend, so be it. I don't have a problem meeting people. People have befriended me from all over the world. I don't care who doesn't want to be my friend. Because if it's billions of people in the world, then why would I keep being stuck in this small crew anyway? I want to expand, and I want to let the world know that, yo, I'm here, right? Fuck that. No. So you got to protect your vibe at all costs, okay? But if people show you they're real and people show you they're down, you got to know when to click the light switch off and on, because you don't want to push quality people away that's really, really there for you. You don't want to you have to find balance. You don't want to be too caught up on yourself where you push the wrong people away, okay? The people that got your back and tell you the truth about yourself and that really got mad love for you. You don't want to push them away. So you have to have discernment, okay? Number 4, This is big. And this is the fourth way that you transcend so-called white supremacy. Your ancestors are tomorrow, not yesterday. Okay? Your ancestors are tomorrow, not yesterday. We are taught to focus on this concept of the ancestors. So much so that we're not focused on tomorrow. Your ancestors are not in the past, they're in the future. The past is in the future. Okay? You don't want to focus on the past per se. You want to focus on the future. You write your past in the future because it's coming, and then it happens already. So you want to take your attention away from the past per se, and that's where they got you. That's where they got you stuck at. They keep you stuck in these past conversations. Now you're not a part of conversations about STEM. You're not a part of conversations about nanotechnology and biology and chemistry and technology. You are constantly having a conversation of a time that doesn't exist no more. Your conversation is Pisces in a Aquarius age. Your conversation is analog in a digital reality. And this is why many people that look like me are not experiencing grace and favor, because you're out of alignment with your conversation. They're keeping you, my ancestors. Who told you ancestors was in the past? Is the earth still producing people? Yes, it is. So your past, your ancestors are people that are not even here yet. The reason why I'm telling you that is because they're going to refer to you. As the generations move, people are going to refer to Garvey less and less and less and less. And they're going to refer to those that are here now. People are going to refer to Langston Hughes less and less and less. People are going to refer to Booker T. Washington, and Sojourner Truth less and less and less. As we move forward, people are not going to refer to Malcolm X or Martin Luther King like that. They're going to refer to you. This is why I'm telling you, your ancestors are in the future, and they're going to study you in the past. Do you understand? You got to put on for them. You're looking backwards. You're so much in your rear view that you're on a head-on collision with tomorrow. And this is why those that identify as black are not at the head of nanotechnology. What is nanotechnology? You know what I'm saying? Conversations with Michio Kaku and conversations with Ray Kurzweil and about technology, like so-called black Americans are not involved in that conversation. Why? Because we're having a conversation that is outdated for real. Right? The past is in the future, right? I've said this many times, okay? The past is in the future. Why? Let me do an experiment. You've seen me do this before. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. That's the present. The past and the future are going to combine. They're going to be intertwined like this. I'm about to drop my lead pencil. I told you what I did in the present. It became past and future like that. They're interconnected with each other, right? So that's telling you there is really no time for real. But just on some linear shit, the past is in the future, okay? There's nothing back there. In fact, it's so crazy that you can create a new past. All you have to do is create a movie. You can create the past with a movie because it matters what the people believe. If the people believe it is real, okay? Even if it's fake, okay? So movies like Troy, Achilles is mythology, but the movie says it's real, all right? The movies in the future create what you think the past looked like. People went to see the movie Passion of the Christ and was really crying. They think it happened just like that, based off the way the movie looked. You know what I'm saying? So you want to create the past, which is the future. All right. I have a theory, right? This is off track, though, but I have a theory that all the ancient things in the past, being that there's a gap between the people, it's like all the people disappeared. That, from the Mayans to the Incas to the Egyptians to the Stonehenge people. I have a theory, and I've seen this on Interstellar, and I'm like, holy shit, we're not looking in the past, we're looking in the future. There is a time and place where that was I'm about to nerd out. But yeah, that wasn't built in the past. It was built in the future because time is bending, right? But anyway, let me not nerd out. Okay. Look, the problem with now the people with that are really passionate about ADOS, African descendants of slaves. I don't knock that at all. I don't knock that. Do you? I wouldn't hold my breath, but do you? You are missing an opportunity to create reparations now. And the mistake that the people in the ADOS are making, you're caping for people that don't want what you want. You keep including the bottom half of your culture. You keep including people that can't produce inside of your culture. Now, the interesting thing when you study all different civilizations, they did not include the bottom half of the people. Okay, they understood that everybody can't go, and they created a different reality with their biggest and brightest. You can't keep including the junkies. You can't keep including the non-productive. You can't keep including the destructive. You can't keep including the downtrodden. You know what I'm saying? You have to focus on your talented, and it is what it is, and create a society from there. You know what I'm saying? So don't keep starting there, right? You want to create the reparations now, because honestly, it's not the system that's responsible for a child, it's the parents. So if you're focused on African descendants of slaves, what about the people that's descended of you? You're technically are not a descendant of, they're going to be descendants of you. You're not going to be considered an African American per se. Eventually, that pronoun of African is going to drop off, and you're just going to be American, and the descendants of you are going to look at you as American. Understand, be able to stand above what it looks like now to see further. Stand on a giant's shoulders to look farther. Be able to predict what's going on and what's going to happen. Pay attention to the social trends, okay? Your ancestors are tomorrow, so you want to program the seeds of greatness into the children right now. And a master planner is able to plan 500 years ahead. I don't care what you think about Rothschild. He was able to put a plan in his children to have them get control of money all over Europe. So much so that this family is not even on the billionaires list. Their fortune is private. But it started from 500 years ago. This man was talking to his children, and his sons carried out the missions of the father. How about that? He wasn't even going to be a beneficiary of the science of finance with his children. He wasn't even going to be a beneficiary, but he put the seeds inside of them, and he knew if they was able to carry out the plan. It doesn't matter if you think it's sinister or not. That's your personal fucking opinion, and it doesn't matter because fortune favors the bold. All right. So he was able to put these seeds of control into his children, and they carried it out. Wow. You know what I'm saying? We got kids that won't even sit down when we tell them to sit down. Here's a person that programmed the seeds of control into his children and spreads them out throughout the whole entire Europe to the point where they control interest rates. That's crazy. You calling these rappers Illuminati? It's like you don't know who is who, right? I'm talking about people that can control interest rates, right? That control inflation. You understand? That live outside of the market. They are the market. You know what I mean? I believe they found some type of knowledge source, though. I'll nerd out again. I have my theories that they found some type of knowledge source, because I'm like, yo, how is it that they don't miss a beat, that don't matter what generation occurs, they still remain the hand of power, and they're able to bend. They don't care about feminism, they don't care about trans shit, they don't care about gay shit. They're able to go with the flow and remain in power. That tells me that there is some type of manuscript that they are reading that is allowing them to practice high magic, because that's what that is. It is high magic, magic on another kind of level. They are bringing entities in this planet that ain't here, and they are acting as a host for those entities. I want in. Fuck that. I ain't scared of shit. I'm hopping my body too. Fuck that. I tried the spirit of broke. I tried the spirit of depression. I tried the spirit of everything. Shit, goddamn, Beelzebub can't be no worse. Shit, I done tried all the other shit. That shit don't work. I tried Jesus too. That ain't work. So goddamn it, let me get bail. You know what I'm saying? I need to go to, you know what I'm saying, my Aleister Crowley, Thelema shit. You feel me? Like, yo, hop in my body, possess me so I can get some money. Yeah, all that. But yeah, all seriousness, you know, you put the seeds of greatness, you know what I'm saying? You put the seeds of greatness into the children, and then you make a 5-year plan. Now, I'm not saying that don't look behind you. I'm not saying don't look behind you. But what you want to do is create a 360 head, kind of like an owl. An owl's able to rotate his head. This is why owls are a cult symbol too. An owl's able to rotate his head 360 to be able to see behind it. So now if you do have a reverence for the past, that's fine, but be able to look 500 years in the past, simultaneously be in the future, and be in the present and look 500 years in the future. So you're able to rotate. That'll give you total 360 vision. That's how the all-seeing eye works. The all-seeing eye is able to able to pierce its vision through time. And Reginald, how can you sell a soul? Tell me how. That's things that we say. How can you sell a soul? What happens on earth stays on earth. There's no knowledge or wisdom or device in the grave where you're going. Book of Ecclesiastes. How can you sell a soul? What is a soul? Show me it right now. Sell me your soul. If I wanted to purchase your soul, sell me it. How are you going to sell it? What are you going to buy? What do you think a soul is? Think about what you're saying. How can you sell a soul? People are who they are. You know what I'm saying? That you sold your soul for. How can you sell your soul? You know what I'm saying? First of all, you've already been sold because you have a social security number and it's on Wall Street. So what you think is a soul is not. Your soul is your social security number. That's your soul. Digitized. Morals is, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to keep going. Morals is very subjective. Because what morality is in Asia is not in Europe. What's morality in Africa may not exist in America. That's a personal thing, and you can't push your morality on other people. Yeah, you need magic to break generational curses, because it's magic that was put on us to put us in the curse anyway. Debt, language, frequencies. You know what I'm saying? We openly stand up in church and have testimony service and say our family is generationally cursed, but yet we don't have the spell work to remove the curse. So yeah, I believe that magic could break the curse. So moving on to number 5, this kind of addresses what I'm saying. So the 5th way to transcend white supremacy is weaponize your language. Weaponize your language. That means be more offensive with your language. Let me tell you what I mean. Let me tell you what I mean by weaponize your language, okay? Use high power words to describe your life. Okay? Use high power words to describe your life. Okay, let me give you a form of magic, okay? Peep this. And sometimes when we're talking about magic, we think it's, people flying and shit like that. No, no, no. Watch this. If you meet a girl online and she's in California and she can only listen to you talk, or she's in Texas, wherever, and she can only listen to you talk, you guys are having conversations. And because of that, she takes a liking to you, right? So then she buys a plane ticket and she gets on a plane and comes to see you 3,000 miles away. Is that magic? You moved a physical object. You said, baby, come see me. You said, baby, come see me. I like you. I'm trying to fuck. And she like, okay, daddy. And she gets on a plane and she comes to see you. What did you use to move that object? And when I say object, I'm only, you know what I mean. What did you say to move her? To go purchase a ticket, to go park in a parking garage, to hop on a plane, to come see you. She was just on the other side of the country. What did you use to do that? Your wand, your magic wand, your tongue. That's magic. That's magic. That's magic. That's how magic works. So, but we think magic is the pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Let me tell you something. With the price of food is right now, if you could go to the store and pull a week's worth of food out of that bitch with $100, that's magic. That's pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Think conceptually. Think conceptually. Turning nothing into something is magic. D-boys do it all the time. They take this bag of coke, bag of pills, and turn that shit into, boom, some money. Now, there's higher levels of magic. You know what I'm saying? There's higher levels of magic. You know what I mean? Getting people to fall in love with you. Creating, a system where you make $100,000 a month. It's levels of magic, but it's about your intention. Now, this level of magic is pure mentalism. There's other levels of magic that require spices, that require objects like candles. Some require blood. My form of magic is mental. You know what I'm saying? Other people use a different spiritual system. You know what I'm saying? Some people play with the cards. There's not one type. Use your form of magic and run with it. You know what I'm saying? Use your form of magic and run with it. Okay? My form of magic is mind. I do a bunch of shit in my mind and it happens every single time. I do alchemy within my mind. All things that aren't there for me, in 90 days, they are there. Now, eventually, I'm going to get more into the physical form of magic, because I have dark arts information. I'm in some weird shit, right? I got some crazy stuff. So I'm going to get more into that to combine it with my magic. And then, you know what I'm saying, when I go live, you're going to see my eyes turn red, right? All right, so weaponize your language. Use the power of words. If I ask you how you're doing, don't be like, I'm all right. That will push me away from you. You want to, I'm awesome. Great. You want to be enthusiastic when you're describing your life. If I ask you what's new and you're like, a little bit. Nah, don't do that. Use big ass words to describe what's going on with you and be happy and enthusiastic about that shit. Don't come to me with a plan and be like, yeah, man, I got this little plan. Right? Oh, yeah, I got this little ideal. Look what you just did. You just killed the moment. Yo, so many businesses are funded every day. That's bullshit. They're straight trash. But because the person was enthusiastic, it got somebody to bite. If you got high energy at every time, you might be straight finessing somebody, right? But because your energy level is up and you're using language in a weaponized manner, you're going to get the outcome that you want to get. Okay, so when you use the term white supremacy, it's weaponized because it's actually going against you because you're trying to describe a system, but what you're doing is putting your own self in debt. Because again, what is white? Not intended to cause harm, right? So you see a cop get shot by someone who's identified as a white police officer, but the definition of white is not intended to cause harm. So he's automatically innocent. Right? So be mindful of that. So you want to counter that with dope language about yourself. I'm amazing. I'm great. I'm ecstatic. I'm enthusiastic. How you doing? Wonderful. So simple, yo. So simple. How are you doing? I'm doing amazing. I'm weaponizing my language. I'm making my language work for me offensively. I'm not going to dim my light down with my language by saying shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. What you got going on, Ken? Oh, you know, nothing. I ain't on nothing. Then why would somebody want to fuck with me if I ain't on nothing? You might say I meet you out and about, right? And say I helped you. You like, oh, this my dude, Ken. Yo, bro, man, I done came up, bro. I want to give back to you. What you got going on? And I'm like, oh, shit. You know my nigga, you know. This is, you know, I call this nigga talk, right? Jive talk. Oh, man, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You know, I ain't on shit, bro. You know how I go, my nigga? Yeah, my nigga. I call that nigga talk, right? Just, you be like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Like, I ask you, what you got going on? You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about, bro? Like, I'm a holler, Ken. Yeah. You was about to give me some money. I'm sitting up here talking, bro. You know how I go. You know how I go, my nigga. I just talked myself out of grace and favor. You was about to seed into it. I'm sitting up here talking jive. You wanted to know for real what's going on, because if you about to put this money down, you want to be like, you want to make sure that I'm not finna go blow that shit. Yo, so be mindful when you talking. Don't talk small, talk big. Even if you're not doing big shit, at least if you talk big, you're going to force yourself to match up with the language. You want to match up with the language. Talk big. If I ask you what's going on, don't be... Some people be like, I'm broke. Another person be like, join the club. What? I ain't trying to join that club, man. Like, nah. If I ask you what's going on, say big things. So today, before you go to bed tonight, find 3 words in a dictionary that mean large. Something big, something gigantic, something monumental, right? You know what I'm saying? So when someone asks you how you doing, you're like, yo, I'm phenomenal. Your mama could have just died. I'm phenomenal, because you never know what position that person is in. And again, this is magic. So that language that you use may be able to open up, unlock the spirit of philanthropy in them, and they might render to you. And you want them to render to you because they're going to give it to Caesar. So you want them to give it to you. All right. So you want to weaponize your language. That's very important, because when you identify as black, you use dead language. Go to a pro-black page. Look at the language that they use on themselves. This is why we can't do nothing. This is why we never have nothing. We are under attack. The language that is being used in the group is forming these people worlds, so they cannot go outside and not see a horrific reality. I can't relate. I don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good one. What if you're suffering from ill health? Now, I'm not Dr. Sebi, and I'm not claiming to be able to heal nobody. However, disease a lot of it comes from thought and mucus. All right. So if Dr. Sebi drained people by like if he was able to heal people through the removal of a lot of mucus in the body, what happens if we're able to remove people, heal people through the removal of thought, right? Think about this for a second. If Dr. Sebi cured people by removing toxic mucus out of their body and cleaning their blood up, I believe, right? What is the process to clean up our mind? What's the process for that? How do we pull thought from the mind? Because the trauma is thought. Okay, the dysfunction is thought. So what's the science to pulling the thoughts from the mind that are making us sick? Now, in Scientology, they clear you and use Dianetics, right? On retreats, people use ayahuasca to separate you from the thought, right? So you're able to look at it. Because if we say thoughts are things, what kind of things? It's weight. It has a shape. It has made a home in our house, and now we can't get any grace and favor. So I believe that you have to practice the same concept of a Dr. Sebi removing mucus from your body. You want to remove certain thoughts from your body. Now, you can do that through meditation. You can do that. I recommend The Power of Concentration audiobook. I say listen to that over and over again. That's The Power of Concentration. That's the purpose of books like The Four Agreements. That's the purpose of books like The Way of the Superior Man, is to replace new thoughts and so hoping they override the old thoughts. But the problem is the old thoughts stay. And things trigger those old thoughts. When you think you're doing better, that happens, right? I gotta go soon. Okay, so the sixth one is the mystery supersedes the history. This is my personal favorite. The mystery supersedes the history. What that means is you matter more than the culture. Ken, what are you saying? Are you saying that I matter more than my people? Yes. There is no such thing as a community casket. I'm saying now, you've tried every single thing, right? You've tried every single thing. You went to lectures, you tried church, you tried every single thing. You have not tried yourself though. Okay, you matter more than the culture because you are the mystery, right? It's your job to unlock genius energy. There is no genius energy in the culture. It is dead. But you are fresh. You are fresh clay. I say this all the time. Just look at the print in your hands, yo. There's never been a you before. There's never been no hand design like that. You are one of one. The culture is still talking about Malcolm. The culture is still talking about Garvey. The culture has not figured out how to be greater than men that have been dead 100 years. What's that telling you? What's that telling you? And is it selfish? Yes, it is. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, okay? You matter more than the culture, yo. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's your job to unlock the genius energy in you. And in order to do that, you're going to have to be extremely selfish. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, you help the culture by being selfish. You help the culture by being selfish, by doing the work. When are you expected to do the work if you keep running outside talking about the people? The people, you don't even know the people. Who are the fucking people? And I suggest that you don't unite with a group of people that come together only in pain. You want to find out who the people are? Put a trauma trigger out there and you'll find out who the people are. Have one side talk about annuity, life insurance, trust, IRAs, stuff like that. Have one sign that says that, then have one sign that says police brutality, systematic oppression, marginalization. Watch all of them go there. That's a fact. That's a fact. If you want us to find out who the people are, I'll do a post right now that says racism is a myth. Watch how many people show up to tell me that I'm a coon. Right? Now, I can talk about inflation, how it's about 3% every year, and how we're gonna spend 100,000. We're gonna have 100,000. It's gonna spend like 75,000. Right? We could talk about that. Right? We could talk about global markets. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about e-commerce. Crickets. Crickets. Why? Because it doesn't do anything to the pain body. It doesn't trigger the pain body. That's what I'm telling you to turn your back on. That right there, it is not healthy for you, and it doesn't love you. In fact, it will eat you. All you got to do is say the wrong shit. Oh man, I used to have respect for you. Now, you don't no more because ideals that I have, and it doesn't involve children or nothing. I'm just talking about philosophy and theology, and you don't respect me no more. And now I'm a coon, and now you trying to find my background. It's pivot. You know what I'm saying? To supersede, to transcend white supremacy, you have to transcend niggas. Because niggas are the creator of so-called white supremacy. Niggas are. So-called white people didn't create white supremacy. We did. We did. You create your God, yo. God comes out of our mind. Okay? We create our gods. We create our heavens. We create our dysfunction. Okay? We created that through language. And we made it something that it was absolutely not. That's because I spent time around other people, and I'm like, I used to think, I was foolish, right? So you create your God. But to transcend so-called white supremacy, you have to transcend trash, black, nigger, dysfunctional, Section 8, high diabetes culture, ratchet culture. It's trash. There's no greatness in it. And the people try to trick themselves like they're better than European people. They is trash, okay? And catch up with your own kind. So that's how you transcend so-called white supremacy. You transcend it by transcending the people that created it. The people that created it look like you. You created it. These people created it. Every day they talk about white supremacy. So just imagine someone who is European and they hear so-called black people talk. And they're like, damn, what if this person had low self-esteem? All they got to do is hear black, melanated people talk. Be like, damn, you just gave me all the fucking confidence I needed. God damn, I was a drunk. But listening to you talk, I'm supreme. So if I was a low self-esteem person from another culture, all I have to do is listen to so-called black people talk. And I'll get all the fuel I need. You finna tell me I'm great. You're gonna tell me I circumnavigated the globe. You're gonna tell me that I brought melanated people to the country, even though melanated people are millions of years old, and I would assume they made boats and traveled the whole planet millions of... You're going to tell me that I made the money. You're going to tell me that I'm in control of the Federal Reserve. Now, this is a regular janitor that you're talking to. You're going to be like, your people. And the janitor's going to be like, yo, my dad was a fucking rapist. What are you talking about? Be careful with your language, okay? Be careful. So, you know, if you came late, go check out the beginning of the video. We broke down white supremacy. We pulled it apart. So I hope that I said it in a way where you actually understand. So now you could begin to heal your own self so you don't use these words like this. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yes. Transitioning so-called white supremacy, the way you do it is you transcend this trash-ass culture. I keep calling it trash. It is trash. You can create your own. You don't have to follow this. So if you want to remove yourself from the narrative, just remove yourself from the nigger frequency, and that's all it is. And it's not real, because understand it's dealing with color. You know what I'm saying? I already kind of broke down white supremacy. What do you think it is? It's not real. It's created by us, and you don't want to use that language. Just say the system. Don't attach white to it, because when you attach white to it, what you're saying is incapable of a moral impurity. What you're saying is free from color. I broke down color. What you're saying is not intended to cause harm. What you're saying is favorable, fortunate, notably ardent, passionate. That's what white means. That's what it means. All right. So you don't want to be black no more. You want to associate yourself with a clan, with the tribe, with the nation. You want to get out from under dirty, soiled, characterized by absence of light, which means knowledge. You want to get away from thoroughly sinister and evil, wicked, indicative of condemnation, connected to or evoking supernatural, and especially the devil. That's what it means to be black. That's what it meant before you was ever called black. When you were still tribes, clans, nations, sun people, earth people, right? So, yeah, if you want to follow up, hit me up on the game hotline, 888-565-8734. Go to kenbrisbon.com and cop my shit. You know what I'm saying? So, until next time, yo, be confident. Be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Do you. Go get your money. Go travel the world. Do your motherfucking thing. You don't owe nobody a damn thing but yourself. And create reparations for your children. Remember, your ancestors are in the future. Let these other people focus on the past. And while their head is turned like that, you could come in and take all the gold. Alright, so love yourself. Alright, holla. Peace.